Hello everybody, and welcome to today's stream. We're going to be playing some ranked Reno Dragons. Don't know how good it's going to be, and I don't know why there we go. Don't know how good it's going to be today. I mean, it just kind of shifts from day to day based on what's running around at the time. So, we'll see how that works out. If we're having problems with our Reno list, then we will transition to something based on what the meta seems to want today. Anyways, without further ado, let's hop on into game. Alright, Rogue. The only question is what style of Rogue we're up against.
Your soul shall be mine.
If it's Mill, this hand is trash. If it's something semi-aggressive, this hand is amazing. I mean, granted, you can never tell what sort of deck you need to be, or what sort of deck you need to be prepared for until you actually see what they do, but in general, this hand is fine, I guess. I just don't love it. The good news is we have Guardian to trigger our Blackwing Technician. We've got a Chow on 1 to give us some sort of early board presence. Okay, so turn 2 Blackwing Technician actually looks really good here, especially since we could be up against Mill and don't want to overdraw. Like, if we go nuts playing handlock style, just drawing cards every single turn, and they turn out to be Mill Rogue, then we're in a terrible, terrible spot. So, we're actually just going to get a little bit aggressive and see what they're doing instead of, you know, suffering because we try to make them react and they have the right thing. Or rather, we want to make them react and not be reactive in case they're some sort of Mill strategy. Alright. So, nothing interesting going on board right now. Guess for this turn we just draw a card, get in a few more points of damage. And at this point we've gotten aggressive enough that we don't even completely regret having the Chow die. And it looks like it's not dying this turn either, so, well, it might. Just because I see some real value in... No, let's just Shadow Bolt it off and keep punching. We don't mind him having a coin because he's still dealing with our hand. And at this point, even when the Chow dies, that 5 life doesn't scare us that bad. Alright. So, at this point, we've got a choice to make. We can either kill this, another one of those dead. I think that's the way we want to go. The problem is doing that involves Dark Bomb plus Chow, which puts him up to 23 and then back down to 20, and doesn't actually develop our board at all. The other option is we can run out the Drake or the Twilight Guardian, which has the advantage of at least not dying in a single hit to the Tomb Pillager, and just staying on the aggressive plan. Both of them have real potential. It just sort of comes down to what we think he has. If we run out the Drake, though, we're really running face first into the possibility of... Yeah, we don't want to get crushed by Blade Flurry, so we're just going to go ahead and do some trading. Draw a card. Punch him, ship the turn back. Take the line of play that is least likely to get us killed by a Blade Flurry. And the way he's drawing, we have to assume that he could be some sort of combo. Alright. We don't particularly care about this Van Cleef. It's little. We could always silence it if we cared, but we don't. We could hit it with Implosion and hope we got lucky, But that's generally a bad line of play. So if we were going to do that, we would need to silence it first.
So
I can't think of anything I particularly care about out of a rogue. So that doesn't seem entirely unreasonable. The only problem is, again, we just sort of get crushed by any kind of Blade Flurry type play. We can run out the Azure Drake to make him deal with that. Plus we get to draw a card off of it. We still have the option of just running out this Guardian,
almost out of time.
which I don't entirely hate. So we'll run out the Twilight Guardian, draw a card, punch our opponent in the face because we don't really care that much. And I assume he's going for a big Blade Flurry here. Probably like a Tinker's Blade Flurry.
I got the best deals anywhere.
No, unless he's got preparation here. I wasn't expecting to see a sap. I mean, it's reasonable. It's just nothing stellar. So this turn we can run out of Swamp Ooze into his Deadly Poison Knife that he hasn't actually done anything with. The problem is that if we do anything like that, then we're just getting run over by this Gadget Zan Auctioneer. We can't afford to let him get too much value off that. He just sapped, so I don't actually hate a Chillmaw here. He can't really punch past it without killing it or bouncing it some way or other. Yeah, we'll just run out Chillmaw. There is no clean way for him to dispose of that, so... Granted, he can potentially draw his deck here, but there wasn't any line of play that safely prevented that. Alright. So we can definitely... okay, I don't know what we're expecting now. Yeah, he wasn't going to be attacking that if he was planning a Blade Flurry. So yeah. Now we've got a pretty good Hellfire setup. We can, I don't know. We can Hellfire plus Guardian, which leaves us with complete board control. I don't hate that, just because at this point we're just trying to fight over board control as usual, but now it matters just a little bit more than it did before because both of us are a lot lower on life. But with this Defender, Sun Fury, Corruptor, Faceless, we've got a very strong hand right now for reacting to most sorts of threats. Although he does have us on card advantage, so... Okay, so it looks like we're getting Blade Flurried. Or Shiv Punch. I'd rather it be a Shiv Punch, I guess, but I don't actually know. Okay, SI7 and Dagger? I mean, I can deal with that, yeah. Now, on the other hand, Leroy was not something I was expecting to have him run into me. Are we just dead? Because that's always a possibility in this sort of board. Yeah, it looks like we're just dead. And welcome to combo kills. Whatever, dude. Gotta love how Blizzard nerfed that particular kill of Leroy plus pump spells. I mean, yeah. High combo kills. Blizzard theoretically nerfs those all the time, except they don't. It's just kind of a part of this game. The only problem with it, of course, is that there's enough strong tempo cards that it can be very difficult to deal with those decks unless you just have the right stuff at any given time. Like Reno Jackson there, obviously we win the game, if we ever see Reno.
Gul'dan,
Assuming we play him early enough.
Gul'dan.
Your soul
Alright.
shall be mine.
Warlock Mirror.
And your nightmare.
I hate it, but I don't know. I don't want to... I think I keep the Mountain Giant and the Shadow Bolt just so I have ways to answer some sort of early start. Okay. I don't like it, but unless he's super hard aggro, we've probably got a reasonable hand here. And the fact that he doesn't have a turn 1 play tells me we might actually just be in the lead right now. Granted, he actually has the better Mountain Giant start than we do because he's on the play. Okay, so this might be a traditional Reno list. I doubt it's Zoo with no turn 1 play, but it could be. Now at this point we could coin out a Technician, which I actually... But the problem with that, of course, is it sets us up for failure on this Giant. Because then that'll be at 8, next turn 7, 6. Yeah, we can't cast it before turn 5 at that point. Which is awkward to say the least. So if we do that, we're committing to a dragon plan without a secondary dragon for this Guardian in hand. That's a little bit iffy. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and just life tap and have the option of either going early Giant or Shredder on 4, depending on what our opponent is doing. Plus, if we needed to, we could Shadow Bolt this turn. We're obviously not going to. Our Mountain Giant's already at 4, so we're just going to drop this Technician to have a board presence, and our Mountain Giant will still be at 4 next turn. Our opponent is almost certainly dropping either a Giant or a Drake this turn. Or he's on a terrible hand, which is great for us. Yeah, so at this point we just start dealing with his board to make sure that he doesn't have too many ways to try and answer our Giant. And we run out our Giant so that he has to start worrying about our threats.
I've got the beast in my...
Okay, BGH. He's almost certainly going to kill off, yeah. I'm not entirely sure why he double coiled that instead of just punching with Peddler. Coil seems like it's worth saving most of the time. I don't hate coining out Thaurissan here, even though it's going to die if we do. Just because that ensures our opponent trades off his board, getting a hold of my stuff, and then next turn we'll have Dr. Boom. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. He has to clean up my board no matter what he wanted to do this turn. So unless he's got Siphon Soul for Thaurissan, he's not attacking us at all. Meanwhile, we have Boom next turn. Yeah. And there goes his board. All he has is a Shredder here, which sort of sucks against Dr. Boom. And there's nothing wrong with a 6-mana Dr. Boom. Gives us a nice strong board control advantage. Now, granted, our opponent has drawn a couple more cards than we have here, but resource-wise, we've been trading very efficiently, so we don't mind the current situation. Alright, so we got super lucky there. We can now Dark Bomb off his Boom. And that saves us our Rend for another Legendary later, which is not half bad in the slightest. And I kind of want to run out my Twilight Drake just for that big, durable threat that he has to start worrying about. So yeah, we're going to Dark Bomb his Boom. Trade a Boombot with a Boombot. Get super lucky there. And then we'll just punch in with our Boom. Have complete board control. We just had the much better turn there. Alright, Implosion plus a dude, or possibly 2 dudes if he's not lucky. Okay, he got lucky, so he's going to Boombot. Okay, so still 6 health on the Drake. That's why we ran it out instead of any other threat, just because it's much harder to kill than anything else he had available last turn. This is a situation where we just adore having Chillmaw in hand. So we're going to run out Chillmaw. We're going to kill off one of these imps, just because we'd rather not allow our opponent to Mal'Ganis for too much value. Okay. So, he gets to clean up most of the board. We know he's not coiling this after he agents it, so that's a thing.
Sub's
He does, however, have Belcher. Belcher's fine here. We've currently got the board advantage, so we're just going to run out this Nefarian and go ahead and get a decent hit in on Belcher before our Twilight Drake gets killed by something else. We could run out of Soulfire just to finish off his Belcher, but then we run the risk of discarding something like Reno. So we're just going to hold on to that until it gives us part of a lethal later. It's a fine card to have in a weird situation, or when we're winning the game anyways, but we'd rather not get ourselves killed trying to run it out. Alright, so our opponent had to Reno first, which means we have strong potential to be winning this game. Assuming we're able to see like our Shadow Flame sometime this month. Although right now that's not feeling like good odds. We can always Shadow Bolt plus Soulfire this giant, which we might have to do, even though that's a very soft line of play. So yeah, we're going to Shadow Bolt here, Rend here, then we'll go ahead and toss this Soulfire here and pray it's not Jackson. It wasn't Jackson, so we're in a decent spot still. Kill off his Belcher, leave him with 2 1-power minions into 16 power of ours. With our own Reno still in hand. Like, the fact that he had to Reno first is really good for us. Because it just means that we are miles ahead in terms of resources.
I have no time for games.
Sylvanas has real potential to be a pain in the ass. But we can't really do shit about that, so... Especially a taunted Sylvanas. That is a vile bitch. We despise things like a taunted Sylvanas, in fact. So... The best thing we can do here is...
Let the games begin.
We don't have an easy way to deal with both of our own dudes here. So... We're going to have to let him use his trigger his own Sylvanas. We could run out a couple of small minions in hopes of Sylvanas not being bad at that point, which I don't hate. And we could even taunt those up to slow down Sylvanas being triggered, which isn't half bad. And we threw out that Curse of Rafam because we frankly didn't care about having it in our hand. He'll probably just play it. But that's also 2 mana he doesn't have this turn. Okay. Shadow Flame there was a really soft option, so we're good with it. Now, at this point, I don't hate just running out Drake and Jackson, except for the part where I hate it. But I don't think we can afford getting too far down in range of getting blown out. Okay. So, if we Implosion here... Well, we could just Reno. And then next turn we have a Drake Implosion, which seems pretty good. As a worst case play. Now, there is the downside where he's drawn a lot more cards than we have, but we can't do much about that at this point. We do still have some excellent resources in our deck, like a Healbot, a Jiraxis, a Ysera, plus Corruptor, Shadow Flame. Like, we've still got some very strong lines in our deck. Plus, if he plays out anything too impressive, We've got a manipulator coming up somewhere. Okay. So, plans change. Oh, that's not good. He's probably got a Mal'Ganis in hand, which could get out of control real quick. So if we Drake Shadow Flame, then that nearly clears up the board. And I think nearly is the best we can ask for at this point, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. Because at least that deals with Emperor Tharisian. Okay. A Doomguard isn't that bad here. Yeah, he's got 9 power on the board. We could easily just end up dead in the next couple of turns, but this is the sort of board state where that's just a very real possibility. Yeah, we're fucked. We're not beating Ysera, Doomguard, and Twilight Drake at this point. Our best lines of play involve a lucky full power implosion on the Doomguard and a Hellfire and hoping that Ysera doesn't hit anything good. Yeah, that was useless. So at this point, what we're going to do is taunt up a couple of dudes, make him trade some dudes' health for some of our time, and then next turn we can run out Hellfire into what's left of his board. But even then, Ysera's not going to end up dead. And that's a real problem. Unless we draw Siphon Soul. Like, we've just seen so few of our really high impact cards. And that's got us miles behind. I mean, right now we're at 15 needing the Hellfire. The good news is, we do at least have Jiraxis. Okay. And we're still at 15. The problem, of course, is that we could easily just get double nightmared out of the game because we're dealing with Ysera. Or Ysera Awakens. Like, we are so many miles behind on this board. It is not even remotely funny. Mortal Coil feels like a complete joke here. I kind of just want to siphon this Drake and hope we don't deal with double nightmare, but I know that I have to kill Ysera before it kills me. So we're going to kill Ysera. We're going to hope we don't get Nightmare or Ysera Awakens out. Draw a card. We've got a Faceless Manipulator that we can use to take something powerful. Or to get a potential double Ysera at some point in the near future. Yeah, we're dropping Draxus this turn. Unless we're dead. Yeah, and there's Ysera Awakens. And that's all there is. So yeah, that game did not go well. I mean, I feel like we just drew the wrong cards at the wrong times and never got ahead. And yeah, anyways, we're going to take a quick break. I feel the need to get some cancer real fast, and I will be back shortly. and slightly more able to breathe-ish, except for when we're less able to breathe, but that's the nature of the game. So yeah, let's just dive back in, see if we can't get a win finally. I'm wondering if I should maybe be on a different list. Also, don't mind the bad lighting. This room is not ideal for lighting, but given my current rooming situation, it's the best I can get. So, yeah.
Gul'dan versus Gul'dan.
I hope to improve it in a couple of months.
Your soul shall be mine.
All right.
I am your nightmare.
This hand is just trash for any kind of mirror match. This hand is also not good for any kind of mirror match, or for any kind of Zulok, but it's better for Zulok than the last hand was, so we'll give it that. But I have this nasty feeling we're just going to get run over by Flame Imps. No, we're not. Excellent. And that means it's time to start drawing cards. Now, we could use some sort of dragon here to get out a Twilight Guardian that doesn't suck. Okay, Wrathguard. I was not expecting to see that. Not gonna lie. Still no dragons. Our Twilight Guardian sucks. We really need to hit a dragon off the top. We do have enough dragons that there's a reasonable shot at enabling it next turn.
Do you have the artifact?
What the hell are we up against? This has to be some other form of Reno. Is this Reno demons? Like, I don't know what we're up against. But I do know I don't like it. Because this is not a deck I'm used to seeing. I feel like it almost has to be some sort of Reno Mal'Ganis list. Like, just one of every demon and Mal'Ganis. Granted, a lot of the demons have enough downside that that could end up being a good thing for us. And we luck sacked on that. And on that. The downside, of course, being that he's perfectly willing to make that trade. But we run out a... I think we just run out the Twilight Guardian here. Run it up with enough power and toughness that his entire board has to go into it unless he has a piece of hard removal. And if he burns a piece of removal on a Twilight Guardian, we're good with it. Okay. So yeah. Interesting. That feels like a really bad demon grab. This is almost certainly some sort of demon Reno list, judging by what we've seen, or just maybe demons. I don't know. But I can't expect I wouldn't expect Wrathguard to be in a straight demon list. So I would assume that this is some sort of Reno list. Just because Wrathguard is generally a pretty soft option unless you need worn bodies. Like, it's not that big of a downside, but it is a downside that can potentially get you very, very dead. Yeah, he's looking for a Void Caller and a Mal'Ganis.
Stop yelling!
So we've just got to keep the board cleaned up, whatever we do. Under no circumstances can we afford to let him have a lot of demons out when he gets to Mal'Ganis. And under no circumstances can we waste this Siphon Soul either. On the other hand, we do kind of like just making him burn resources, which he's been doing a lot of right now. We can throw out this Twilight Drake for one big dude. And as much as I don't want to let him have a demon alive, I also just want to start getting in some chip shots while I can, because I can assume there's going to be a Mal'Ganis soon after that sends demons. And the number one priority is to have him low enough that we can kill him after we bust down after we kill his combo. Okay. Almost certainly some sort of Reno demons. or something. We're actually going to kill off our slime here, I think. Is weird. No, we don't have another dragon in hand, so we wouldn't actually trigger Chillmaw. And I think we actually want to save him. So we can potentially... I think we just have to punch our Drake into the Doomguard and then Shadow Flame our Drake. Which I hate, but I think it's the best line. He does get a new imp. We can punch his new imp. We can drop a technician, punch him in the face. Just keep the board under any semblance of control we can. Don't let him have demons. We don't want to die to Mal'Ganis. That is just top priority. Don't die to Mal'Ganis. Yeah. So, the Flame Imp... Huh. Interesting. So, at this point, we could drop Defender and Corruptor here. Trade our Technician and Corruptor trigger. Yeah, let's do that.
My shield for honor.
It's not even, yeah, so we're gonna just do that.
I wield the power.
And keep getting in chip shots. Keep the board cleaned up, whatever we do. It's a fun list we're up against. I'll give it that. I like what he's doing. I like the potential strength. Archthiever Fom has real potential to just kill us. So next turn has to include a heal bot. Or we could Thaurissan. I really want to run out Thaurissan. We can kill this for Fom.
So many possibilities.
I mean, we have to kill this Rafam, whatever we do. But beyond that,
Death to the pretender.
no, we're just not taking any chances. We're going to run out Healbot. We're going to punch our opponent in the face. We're going to draw a card. And I think we're actually going to Sun Fury so that next turn we can Thaurissan and hopefully have it last long enough to Faceless. Because if you manage to Faceless a Thaurissan, the game is completely over. Okay. That's actually one of the least painful ones he can get off that guy. Even so. Ow. Mommy. That is 21 damage total available. He can't... Yeah. Let's go ahead and... That's awkward. But we're not dead this turn. Unless he has Power Overwhelmings in there.
I got this.
So unless we take multiple pump spells, we're not dead this turn. He's got 18 power right now. We've got 25 health. He would need at least double Power Overwhelming or something along those lines to kill us. So more likely he's going to trade into our board to get rid of Thaurissan. Yeah. Which is fine. Because it leaves him with very minimal board presence left. Okay, he's mapping. I mean, a Wilfred here's cute. We could take a Wilfred. Okay, yeah. So... I kind of just want to Faceless his Wilfred and Chillmaw. Except then we don't actually get any cards off of the Wilfred Fizzlebang. So let's go ahead and copy, draw a card. We can kill two things, or we can just kill Wilfred, which I actually don't hate, because we can't let him start getting that same advantage off it that we're going to get off it. And he's going to have to, again, spend some time killing off our board, which is going to leave his board pretty much cleaned up. Now, granted, this Dreadsteed is going to come back, but we don't care about the Dreadsteed that much. Especially with this Chillmaw in hand. If we can draw some sort of impressive, lots of cards. Okay. We're definitely running out Chillmaw, because Reno doesn't actually do us that much good here. He has 16 power on board. Chillmaw suggests that we don't die this turn unless he has... we're cutting it really close if we do that. We can siphon something. We can siphon this Dreadsteed, which takes 3 power off the board and gains us 3 life. But that doesn't do us any good. I feel like we go ahead and Reno, even though it's not ideal. Just because we've still got Jiraxis. And that lets us start taking over the board on raw advantage that way. Of course, we could just be about to die. Who knows? I'd still like to see that Hellfire one of these ones. I feel like it would be pretty good in this situation. And it is one of the last 7 cards in my deck. I'll give it that. Alright. So as usual, he's worried about our board. Granted, the Dreadsteed doesn't cost him much except for that Demon Fuse he spent on it, but still, it does cost him some resources. We're only at 24, which isn't that terrible. I want to see that Hellfire so bad right now. Oh look, that Hellfire. So, Hellfire, chill. Pass the turn back. I feel like we're in a reasonable position at this point. We've got several game-ending level threats. Granted, so does he. I have no idea what's in his hand right now. There's a chance he's able to cast it. Good news is, we've still got this Siphon Soul. We've actually got several giant, massive threats of our own right now. We've also got Rend, which is very, very, very good in a situation like this. And potentially some cards. We could Hero Power Giant, which seems reasonably strong here.
So many possibilities.
We could Monkey and hit him in the face, which also doesn't seem that bad. Or we can Siphon the Monkey, punch him in the face. Yeah, let's just do that. Siphon the Monkey, punch him in the face, draw a card, ship it back, and see if he has a way to stop us from... see if he has a way to kill us. Because if he doesn't taunt or kill, then he dies to Jiraxis next turn. Okay. So he's dead to Jiraxis. And that's what we're gonna do.
You face Jiraxis, Eladar Lord of the Burning Legion. You win this time.
And there we have it. Win finally. Man, this lighting is killing me. Hang on. I gotta do something about this. I've got to figure something out about this thing. Some sort of lighting. We're looking really washed out today. I think some of that's just the light, but like some of that's just the light in the room today, and there's nothing we can do about it. But some of that should be fixable. There we go. So now we at least look vaguely human. If not great, but slightly better. Not blue, at least. And yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's actually getting a little later than I thought it was. So I guess now's a decent time to go ahead and end the stream for the day, just because I've got a couple of things I need to do before my kid gets home from school. So, yeah. Anyone out there watching, have a great day, and we should be back tomorrow, hopefully a little earlier. Enjoy.